Hello everyone, my name is Wayne Wakefield. I think you've seen me before. I appreciate you coming. I have a special treat for you today. We are filming a special message to you. The name of this video is Flipping Cars and Cash. And just so you know, many people, including yourself, go to a lot of websites or read a book hoping to find that golden nugget out there that'll help you make money now. But what do you find? You get all warm and fuzzy, and just like we all do, and we get off the site and we have absolutely zero tools on what to do. So now your warm and fuzzies go away. So now that you are here, I want you to watch this very, very special message, because there is a golden nugget that is in here. The purpose of me filming this video today is to give you a flavor of what's to come, a flavor of what the membership site's about. Now again, the membership site isn't so that you can send us money. The membership site is so you can change your life with the education, and so that you can apply the knowledge that we give you. When we're get out of school, high school, college, we're all taught to go get a good job, of course, a good education, and buy a house and owe that money for 30 years, which never made sense to me. Have 2.5 kids, get married. You're supposed to get married first, by the way. Get 2 car payments, have your 2 kids and 2 dogs and your picket fence, and get up to your neck in credit card debt, 2 car payments, and get that 401k going. And the problem is older than 60 years old today, how's that 401k working for you? A lot of people out there are not able to even retire, which in one sense is good, because that keeps people mentally capable and keeps them out working. On the other side is, the downside is, they shouldn't have to work. One thing I've always told people, retirement is doing what you want to do, not what you have to do. Now I'm currently refilming how to buy a car and get someone else to pay for it. And the one thing I have never taught in any of my videos, though, is how to find the deal, which is law number 4 in my book, 40 Unbreakable Laws of Money. It's the deal that makes you money. Law number 4, it's the deal that makes you money. And once you go through this, and hopefully you'll see this message within this video, it's not really about the car, it's about the deal. If you can see it, this is something that you'll take away, and you'll have that golden nugget you were looking for. You can have all the dreams you want. You can nurture your dreams, water your dreams. You can do all the things that you have dreamed about, and you can have all the stuff. You just got to know how it's done. So in this next segment, I want you to watch this. It's going to be a great message. I think you'll enjoy it. And I'll be back to you real soon. A lot of you out there have dream cars. Now it's usually mostly men, and the ladies have the dream homes, but us guys, we got the dream cars. And as if you read my book, you'll know that I talk about Corvettes. And the only way you can buy a car and get someone else to pay for it, you have to buy a Corvette. I'm kidding. No, you don't. Anyway, it works on any vehicle whatsoever. But if you've got a dream car, it's okay. But if you've got to get one anyway, get someone else to pay for it. So, with that said, if you nurture, but you have to nurture, and you have to water your dreams. You have to make sure that you're always learning new things, new concepts. Make this, if you got to drive one of these anyway, a Corvette especially, make it your corporate vehicle, so that when you get ready to train and change your dreams into reality, remember, a dream is nothing but a dream unless you have a plan of action behind it, and you have and can apply the knowledge that you've learned, especially on our sites, especially when we counsel people with their corporations or in business. So if you got to drive a car anyway, drive the one you want. Drive the one you have passion for. Does that make sense? Say yes, it makes sense. So what you want to do is you want to be able to take these cars and you want to be able to look at that and you go, well, wow, I wish I could really get one of those instant cars, you know, you just pour water on and they grow. I know a lot of the ladies like to have the houses that do the same thing, especially if it's got a big closet, and I know that's required. But I want you to do is I want you to be able to pour on this, but I want you to nurture this, and I want you to understand that things don't just happen, dreams don't happen unless you invest and you water your dreams. And when you do, they tend to grow into what? Into reality. Isn't it nice to know that reality, dreams don't have to be just dreams? Again, you put a plan behind it, you nurture it, you water that puppy, and guess what happens? You have one of these. Can anybody have whatever vehicle they want? Yes. Can they have any kind of home they want? Yes, they can. But you have to learn how it's done. Now that you can see that this can be done by the example with the car, I want you to watch this interview that I had with Jeremy, my son-in-law, where he had learned about how to buy a car, get someone else to pay for it. But he didn't just, he picked it out. It wasn't about the car. And he went and did some things that blew me away. In fact, he had already done them and then come back and give me a testimony about it. I had no idea that he had done this. But you want to know some golden nuggets? How to make some money, how to make it quickly, how to make it now. He took two ideas that blew me away. And so I want you to spend the next couple of minutes listening to this testimony and this interview that I had with him. And stay tuned for my message at the end of this video where I'm talking about the Corvette once again. Most people think, well, you got to have payments and you got to do all that kind of thing, and no, you don't. I mean, I got to go qualify for a loan. Who told you had to qualify for a loan? Who told you you had to go with your hat in your hand and buy real estate, cars, boats, planes, and choo-choo trains, and you got to go get qualified for it? I have bought cars since 1992, and I have never had a payment since because I got a revelation how to buy what I call the worst necessary investment. Everybody's got to have a car. Most everybody has to have one. But I get paid to own those cars. Ever been paid $4,000 or $5,000 to own your car? Most people look at you and go, no, I've never heard of that. Well, I'm not talking deductible. I'm talking about paying for your car, your repairs, your maintenance, your tires, your insurance, your fuel. I don't give a flip what the cost per gallon is. It doesn't matter to me. Why? Because I'm not paying for it. I get someone else to pay for it. And you'll understand it's not really about the car, it's about the deal. And Jeremy, my son-in-law, is going to explain what he had learned and go through this quick interview here so that you can pick up to think differently. It's so important that you think differently, folks. That's why you've tuned in. That's why you need to come here every single week, and you need to learn what's called the hidden secrets of the free enterprise system. So, Jeremy, say welcome to everybody.
Good morning. Welcome, everybody.
So, I have some questions for you that I'm going to ask you. When I first proposed or showed you or gave you the training, I mean, you didn't go through a full training with me, but I gave you the concept of how to buy a car and get someone else to pay for it. What revelation gave you to do something a little bit different than rather than just talking about cars?
Well, I first started thinking about it and just what do my wife and I, what do we use on a continual basis? Well, we live in a ranch and we burn wood for our fuel.
Okay.
And so I was able to go out and find the deal. I found a bunch of people who needed wood for firewood this year. And so what I ended up doing was I ended up calling around and finally found a person who had another ranch kind of similar to ours. But we have prune wood, and prune wood's not really a type of wood you want to burn. It just doesn't burn very well.
I've never heard of prune wood.
Yeah, it's not very, it's all rotten.
Oh,
So
okay.
we found a friend who had an overabundance of olive wood. And so I was able to go up to my friend and go, hey, you know, you have this wood that you're paying other people to get rid of, because they normally hire chippers and they have people come in and they chip
So
it.
this guy was paying
So
to
he
have it
was paying
removed?
other people to have
Oh,
it
I didn't know
removed.
that.
And so I was able to go up to him and say, hey, would you mind if I were to cut, how much would you sell me a cord of wood for? And his first notion, he said, I'll sell it to you for $75 a cord. And so I went back to him and said, you know what, I'm going to be the one doing all the work, going out and cutting it, going out and doing that. How about 50? So he was able to come back and go, okay, well, I don't know if you know what wood prices are.
Yeah, up here in the Reno area, they're $100, $150, $200 a cord.
Because we're at, right now, it's between $200 to $300 a cord, depending on what type of wood
Wow.
you're getting. And
Well, it's
so-
California. Everything's more expensive.
That's true. And so what I was able to do was I found that friend, and I was able to cut wood for $50 a cord. Now it took me probably an hour to 2 hours to cut and stack it in my trailer. Well, before, if I went and did it on my own, I'd have to cut the trees down, I'd have to cut the wood up, I'd have to haul it to my house and let it dry.
Wow.
And then I have to split it, and then I have to restack it into my trailer and drive it off.
That's not even worth it.
No.
Then.
But the wood that he has is already cut, and he had it in rounds, and all I had to do was literally cut it to 16 inches, stack it in my trailer right there because it's already split,
Okay.
and then haul it to the consumer's place.
And what did you sell it for today?
I sold it to my, I'd say my ex-coworkers, my clients now, for $250 a cord. So I made a net profit of $200 a cord, and it only took me an hour and a half to do it.
So let me ask you, how many, where did you get the money to invest in your first cord? I mean, how did that work?
I asked him if he'd be willing to, hey, you know, I want to come back, I plan on cutting all of your wood. Will you loan me that first cord of wood until I go out and sell it? And I told him I was selling it. I mean, I wasn't being shady. I told him exactly what I was
Okay.
doing. He just doesn't have the time to do it. So I was able to cut that wood and go deliver it to a person in Chico for $250. Right there, after I gave my friend his $50 back for that cord, I gave him the other $200, which purchased me 4 more cords. I was able to cut that in 4 hours and turn that into $1,000, and then was able to give him $50 more because we only burn, my wife and I think we burn 2 cords a year. So for $100 of somebody else's money, I was able to, my wife and I have been burning wood for free this year. And it put money in our pocket.
Let me stop you here for a minute. Do you understand that he did not go with his hat in his hand to a bank to borrow the $50 or the $100 or the $200? He just asked the person, would you front the cord? Now let me convert this over. Can that be done with real estate? Hello? Yes, it can. You mean people will do that? Yes. But that's a whole other training. And you'd have to get on the site. And I will be coming out with a book this year. It's called 12 Unbreakable Laws of Real Estate, and how I bought tens of millions of dollars of real estate exactly like this, folks. You got to understand, it's not about the car. It's about the what?
It's about the deal.
It's about the deal. So people tell me all the time, well, I don't know what I'm going to do with my company. I don't know how to make any money. But yet, how many cords, what did you make over a period of time? What did you?
In about 2 months, we were able to put away about $2,500
Okay, so, and where did you put the $2,500? Where did you deposit that?
into my corporation.
Gee, I wonder, who taught you about
I wonder.
corporations? Okay, so you put it in your corporation, and then what did you do with that?
We, my wife and I, my son, and my best friend, we took a business trip.
Yeah, what's the 4-letter word in my office?
Vacation.
Vacation, okay. So he's learning well. Anyway, so we never take vacations. We always take
Business trips.
And why could you call it a business trip? Now, folks, I'm not saying scamming the IRS and just writing off a vacation as a business trip. You have to be doing legitimate business. So were you guys doing legitimate business
We were.
where you were?
Correct.
And so you were checking out real estate
We checked out real estate. We drove around. We went up to Seaside, Oregon.
Okay.
And we spent 5 days there, 4 nights. And we drove around each day for about an hour to 2 hours a day, and we looked at home prices, real estate. We went by real estate offices, and we just took pictures of everything just to document that we went there. And this is what.
Well, why were you looking at real estate then?
Because if we found the deal, we're going to look for an investor.
Gee, and who would that be? I think I'm being taken advantage of here, folks. You know. Anyway, no, this is what I taught them. If they find the deal, see, folks, if you got the deal, you can always find the what?
Investor.
You can always find the money. I bought tens of millions of dollars in real estate. Not once have I ever qualified for a loan. Not once. And did he have to qualify for a loan of $50, $100 to, I call it flipping wood. And so this is the man that created flipping wood. All right?
Nice.
Now, I want to ask you one other question. Didn't you do that with some guns as well?
I did.
Explain that.
I work for a construction company, and it puts me where I'm around people all the time. I mean, I'm around different people each day, constant. And one day, a lady approached me and goes, "Hey, I know you like to hunt. Well, I have some hunting guns that I don't want, and I want to get rid of them." So I asked her, "Well, you know, how much are you willing to sell those for?" And she goes, "Well, I'll sell all 5 of them to you for $500.
All 5 of what? What
all
were they?
5 rifles. There was 4 rifles and 1 shotgun.
Okay.
And so I was able to, I kept the shotgun because I really wanted it. It was a tactical shotgun. I really wanted it. And so I kept that gun, which is worth about $800, and I sold all 4 of the rest of them for about $2,000.
Okay, and you paid her how much?
$500.
So you netted approximately,
if counting the gun that I kept, $2,800, so minus 5, so $2,300 in.
and did you have to go with your hat in your hand to borrow the money?
I didn't already have the money there from the wood investment.
Isn't that amazing? So, do you understand that he, in this case, he was the borrower, he borrowed the money from the corporation, and he also, the weapons would be owned by the corporation, and when he sold it, he was the buyer and the seller. Have you ever been on both ends of the deal? Folks, you got to understand, you could be the buyer and the seller on the deal. And some of you are going, "I don't know what I'm going to do with my corporation," and that's okay. I'm not blaming you, because you haven't been taught to think differently. And this is a small thing, but they made a couple, $2,000-$3,000, about $3,000 on the whole deals. And who paid for your shotgun?
My corporation.
Yeah, but who paid for it originally? You kept it and sold the other ones. So the people he sold the other guns to are the ones that bought his shotgun for free. So he bought a shotgun and got someone else to what?
Pay for it.
Pay for it. So it works with cars. Does it work with airplanes? Yes, it does. Does it work with anything? Yes. Can you do this? Buy a storage shed for $200. One time I bought a storage shed for $250. And that's, where the people, you go to auctions and they have storage shed auctions, and you got to know what you're doing there, folks. By the way, that's training. That's on the 40 Unbreakable Laws membership site, along with all the real estate and all the other things that we do. But I bought the storage shed and turned around. Now, I had a garage sale because they didn't have Craigslist back then, and we're only talking about 15 years ago. I mean, it's been years since I did that. And I had a garage sale, and on 2 weekends made $5,000. And I turned the money, just like you turned the money on the wood, and I took $5,000 and I went and started a new corporation. And also, I took the board of directors to Kauai on a business trip, where we did our due diligence meeting and some other business, because you gotta be a legitimate deduction, and we wrote the whole thing off. So we don't take vacations. We don't do any of that kind of stuff. I don't worry about the cost of fuel. I don't care what the insurance costs, because who's paying for it? Somebody else. So if you get someone else to pay for your house, your boat, your plane, you say, "My house?" Folks, let me leave you with this, just as a little teaser. Have you ever had anybody pay for your house, pay you your $200,000, $300,000, $400,000, $500,000, give you the money to pay for your house and pay it off in 10 to 12, 15 years, you received all that money in income? Have you ever received hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars in income, paid 0 federal income tax on it, and it's okay with the Internal Revenue Service? Have you ever had that? I will take your brain and change it around. So what kind of car should this be? The reason why we are taking a picture of the back of the car is your dream car should also be your what kind of car? Your business car. Nevada Business corporations. So this is NV Corp 1. So whenever I buy a vehicle, I always run it through one of my companies. And in this case, Nevada Business Corporation. Whether it's a Mercedes, whether it could be any car you want. But this vehicle, just so you know, when I bought it, retailed from $27,000 to $29,000. So if you went and bought it on a showroom floor, or it was not a brand new car when I bought it, but if you bought that on a dealer's lot, you would have paid $27,000 to $29,000 for it. If you were a person-to-person, Kelley Blue Book says that the value would have been around $23,000, almost $24,000. Wholesale for this car was around $21,000, wholesale. Now keep in mind, the dealers usually get wholesale at auctions, those kind of things. I bought this car for $16,000, a little over $16,000. Did I do okay? You can answer that in your own mind. $16,000, so I bought it $5,000 below wholesale. How do you do that? That's part of the training. In fact, that is the secret to how to buy a car and get someone else to pay for it. But you'll also understand it's not only about the car. Can you do this with a house? Yes, you can. You can buy a house, get someone else to pay for it, and the money they give you to pay for it, you pay no federal income tax on it. How do you do that? You got to learn the rules. That's law number 28. Don't fear the IRS. Learn the rules. That's what this is all about, folks. But if you're going to buy a car anyway and drive the car you want anyway, you make it what kind of car? A corporate car. That makes it fully deductible. Now, in a few months, summer is coming, this car will be sold. I've had it for almost a year. It will be sold at wholesale or a little above. Now, I already told you wholesale was $21,000. So if I bought it for $16 and I sell it for $21, I can sell it quickly for wholesale. I give the other person a great deal, and so they're happy. And how quickly can I sell a car at wholesale? In a flicker, because I don't want to become an owner. All right? So I sell it at 21, I put $5,000 in my pocket, which paid me back for my repairs, maintenance, insurance, fuel. Do I care what my fuel is? No, I don't care what the fuel prices are, because if that $5,000 reimburses me about $2,000 for all the expenses that I had on the car. The other $3,000 goes back into the corporation, and we get plus the original 16. So now I can go buy a newer car, and I do this every year. Now again, like I say in my book, that's what I call shopping, especially for us men. That's shopping. Okay? So can you have this stuff? Yes. I get to drive the corporation's car, and I don't own the car. The corporation owns it. I do business where? On top of a mountain in Sacramento. When I go to Africa, now I don't take the car, it doesn't float very well. But when I go to Africa, is that a business trip? It's a full business trip. Why? Because I am teaching finance to people overseas. But if you got to stay in this country, you got to drive a car anyway. Make it your corporate vehicle, and also make it your dream. But you don't want to buy a dream car and then own it for 5, 6, 7 years. Isn't it nice to upgrade with the new technology to a newer car and a newer car and a newer car, and you get paid $4,000 to $5,000 to own the car? Have you ever been paid $3,000 to $5,000 to own your car? Now, I've had some people go, "Yep." No, you haven't. No one's ever paid you to own your car. Plus, it's in a corporation, you make it fully deductible. How do you do that? That's the secrets to the free enterprise system, and that's why we have a membership site, so you can sign up and learn about this, invest in yourself, invest in not only in your knowledge, but I give you the tools to actually go out and do this kind of thing. Come to our websites. You have a free trial for 7 days, and we will train you not only on vehicles, But cars, boats, planes, choo-choo trains, I don't care what you want, and you will get someone else to pay for it. And once you understand how that's done, it will be like a whole world opens up for you. And no, you don't go with your hat in your hand to a lender and you're not making payments. Okay, is that fair enough? Hey, take care everybody. God bless. Thanks for the meeting. Thanks for your time.